Check, check. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are live one more time here on the gospelstation.com Sports and Talk. Thank you everybody for joining in live on Facebook and on the gospelstation.com Sports and Talk, of course, online proper on Live 365. Whether you're tuning in on Facebook or online, we want to thank you for tuning in. Of course, it means the world to us. We are live for day number 2 of the Southern Oklahoma Invitational High School Basketball Tournament down here in Duncan, Oklahoma, and we're having a great time so far. The evening games tonight, which gives us time to come by and do this. A show at SureStay by Best Western Duncan, 2535 North Highway 81, here right on the north side of the town. And it's a great place to stay. Again, bestwestern.com. You can go to that website and find all the locations closest to you. But if you're traveling down here to Duncan, whether for this basketball tournament, whether you're just coming by for some holiday visits to family or friends, stop by SureStay by Best Western. Promise they've got the best rooms at the best prices. You will not be disappointed with your stay here. I sure haven't. I'm loving it so far, and I've got one more night here. Very much looking forward to it. Call 580-252-0810 to get in contact with the hotel. And again, this is the best place to be. Free breakfast this morning, and I got to stop by here and pick up some stuff, and it was pretty good. And you know, if you know me, you know me. The meals are always my favorite part, so I was happy to be in on that. But this is the game plan. We're going from 12, let's see, what time is it right now? We'll call it 12:20 to 1:20 p.m. here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. Thank you for joining us. Luke Young talking all the recent in sports news. And as we get into it, by the way, one more shout out to Simplified Tech Solutions, who powers all our broadcasts, 4221 North MacArthur, back in War Acres, Oklahoma. We couldn't do what we do without Eric over at Simplify. I couldn't stay here without the help of SureStay, but we wouldn't have a broadcast without Simplified Tech Solutions. So thanks to him as well. All right, but now as we get into it, if you were with us with Up with the Morning, you heard a little bit of what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to circle back to some things, including the NASCAR news that has been coming out with the antitrust lawsuit. Of course, we're going to be talking about the high school sports we got going on today and tomorrow. And then those last two segments, we're going to try to pivot to something new, maybe a little bit more basketball than we had been talking about. But on the first segment, I do have an update for you from the Southern Oklahoma Invitational, and it's a one women's and one men's update. So the current game right now is the hosting Duncan Demons, and this is on the men's side, taking on the Capitol Hill Red Wolves. They are in the third right now, and when I last looked at the score, it was 22-21. Capitol Hill led in the third. They still have plenty of time left to play in that game, obviously, but it seems like a very low-scoring, defensive, tightly locked match right here from the men's side, and this should be their first game of the day. For the women's side, Southwest. I'm wearing the shirt. I'm wearing the hoodie. I thought about it for a second. Bethany's JV women's team played at 10 a.m. this morning. They had an early game. Although they did lose it, I don't have the score for you, but I do know they lost. In the official updated bracket right there for women's, all the way we'll see Bethany JV playing in, let's see, that would be one, two, three, seventh place, seventh place bracket now, I think, if my math is correct. And Lawton moving on, while Clinton and Duncan are set to play in just about 30 minutes on the women's side. Following the Clinton-Duncan game, we'll go back over to the men's, and that will be a game I have not seen yet because I don't know if Mount St. Mary's, I assume Mount St. Mary's won, but I don't know if Duncan or Clinton won on the men's side. I haven't seen an updated bracket for them. So if we, that'll be right towards the end of the show. Maybe we'll catch an update for that and I'll get able to show you what's going on there. But Bethany versus Cash on both the women's and the men's side today for the varsity squads. Now, I've been watching these games since they started, of course, not just the ones we've been broadcasting, but when I said that Bethany's full court pressure that they were bringing out yesterday was kind of the big difference maker, it was something that the Red Wolves and the Red Tornadoes both didn't really have an answer for. It seems like that's going to be the story throughout the tournament. Most of the teams in here, save of course maybe that Mount St. Mary's on the men's side, have seemingly struggled with full court defense. It seems like ball security throughout the entire tournament has been a big factor in the wins and losses. So I assume if Bethany comes back out today and plays that same full court press, that a lot of their opponents are going to have some trouble. And Bethany's already a very, very, very strong team, and the women's are very highly rated in Class 4A right now, sitting at number 4 as of the last rankings. Of course, they even just picked up a win. So I see the women going a long way into this bracket. Again, with Cash today, Elgin and Eisenhower play at 7 p.m. tonight on the women's side. The winners of both of those games will meet up for the championship tomorrow. That time to be announced. But I see Bethany obviously going to the championship. I don't know enough about Elgin or Eisenhower to decide if one of them can knock Bethany off. But I would say at this point in the tournament already, Bethany is the pretty strong favorites on the women's side. On the men's side as well, it's really, in my opinion, I can say this a little bit more firm, if you will, a little bit more secure. Don't know what the accurate term is for that one, but I will say Bethany and Mount St. Mary's. They are, if my math is correct, it's been a while since I've done the bracketology. If my math is right, Mount St. Mary's is the one, Bethany is the two. These are the two, favorites to go all the way. And watching these first games, it sure has seemed like it. Again, I didn't catch the game, but I'm pretty sure Mount St. Mary's won big over Elgin's junior varsity squad. So I do expect them to be taking on Duncan or Clinton's winner and eventually advancing to the championship round. So my prediction here with an unupdated men's bracket is the Bethany Broncos taking on the Mount St. Mary's Astronauts, Rockets. What are they again? I think it's Rockets. It's been a while. I knew it during volleyball, but now I've kind of forgotten. I always just called them MSM. After that, I always just said MSM. I'm going to have to look that up if we meet them, right? I'm going to have to get that logo ready. Oh, and speaking of logos, everything is updated on our YouTube, GSN Sports and Talk. So when it is time for our games today, reminder you can tune into them on our broadcast there. I'll be on the call doing it myself, and I hope you do tune in because we're getting ready for some fun games. It's 4 and 5:30 back-to-back one more time. And then after that 5:30 game, we'll be done today. Tomorrow is the big one. So championship Saturday for this basketball tournament. It's actually championship Saturday for high school football. It is the final week of Class 4A high school football in the 2025 season. The Tuttle Tigers are taking on the Elgin Owls in the championship matchup, and we have talked about this plenty enough, and we're only going to keep talking about it. As you just see, I threw my phone across the table right there. But we're only going to keep talking about it because these two teams were the favorites to go all the way in the preseason, all the way through the season, and now in the postseason. Again, that has not changed at all. The Elgin Owls, I'm going to pull up their stats here and really give you the idea of this team they have developed. They're a great matchup for the Tuttle Tigers. Now, I will say that for sure. As if I know you got a pair of two 13-0 teams ranked top 5 in the state, as if that alone wasn't enough to make it a good matchup. They met last year. Elgin got the better of Tuttle. Tuttle was disappointed with how it turned out, obviously, and now they're coming together one more time. Elgin has put together a very strong offense that is kind of led by their ground game from what I can tell. It seems like you're going to see a lot of, if I've got this right, number 34, Ritson Meyer, the senior running back in this game tomorrow. So expect his name to be called out a lot on the Owl side. On the other end, through the playoffs, the Tuttle Tigers have primarily relied on their passing game to get up to early leads. They have gone through Cruz Campbell through the air to find their early touchdowns and let Sean Roosevelt Jr. carry the load in the second half, later aspect of the game, later points of the game. It has worked out very well for them right now. Obviously, big win over Broken Bow. Broken Bow played them really well. I will say that has been my favorite game to watch this year was Tuttle versus Broken Bow. But I still see this Tuttle Tigers team as close to unbeatable as it gets. Yes, they will occasionally give it the big play. Yes, a team to their level will put the pressure on them, i.e. the Owls, i.e. Broken Bow. But I still think that Tuttle should be far and away the favorites to win this one. I'm not losing any faith in the Tuttle Tigers right now. Through this season, I was kind of, okay, here's this Tigers team. We know they're really good, but there's always a chance for an upset. And then now we're here. Okay, this Tigers team is really good. There's pretty much no chance for an upset, save something drastic happening. I anticipate the Tuttle Tigers to be the 4A state champions this year. But again, versus the Owls, it's the best matchup we could have gotten. It's going to make for the best football tomorrow at the University of Central Oklahoma in Edmond. Kickoff at 7 p.m. We'll be there, so you should be as well. That'll be on the gospelstation.com Sports and Talk online on Live 365. You can go to Live 365 and type that into the search bar, or you can go to thegospelstation.com and hit the Sports and Talk tab, which is why we always say that like we do. But we're done with segment number 1 here. Kind of went by quick. A lot to talk about. Looking very much forward to this game we've got tomorrow on the football side. Caden Belletto, the quarterback for the Owls, another name we're going to be calling out a lot. We'll see how he deals with the Tuttle defensive pressure, because right now, Tuttle has some very, very scary defenders, especially in the linebacking core, and I am eager to see them in action again. But we're going to send it to break. When we come back, we're moving on to segment number 2, and I think I might have to be making in a phone call here. We might have to get an impromptu guest on the show. We'll see what happens. More when we come back.
At the home of the Gotta Have It, you'll find Apple Tree Antique Gallery, located in the heart of downtown Bethany at 6740 Northwest 39th Expressway. Enjoy spacious shopping with up to 77 unique vendors across more than 10,000 square feet, offering everything from jewelry and clothing to one-of-a-kind treasures and so much more. Don't miss our third Friday weekend specials every month, and yes, we're open Sundays. Call us at 495-0602. Apple Tree Antique Gallery in Bethany, home of the Gotta Have It.
This is Blake Nightingale State Farm, your local insurance agent over at 7304 Northwest Expressway. Here to tell you more about the business is Blake himself.
Hi, my name is Blake Nightingale, State Farm insurance agent located at 7304 Northwest Expressway here in Oklahoma City. I've been a State Farm agent since 2018. We've got 5 licensed staff members here, and we do everything from auto, home, life insurance, and health insurance. And we're real passionate about helping people. And we love youth sports, and we sponsor a lot of local teams here. And so, like I always tell people, like a good neighbor, we're here to help you.
Just like you heard from Blake, Blake Nightingale State Farm is here to help you protect what's important to you, because your car and home aren't just things. They're where you make your memories. Visit Blake and his friendly staff at 7304 Northwest Expressway and call them at 405-728-1313. Like a good neighbor, Blake Nightingale is there.
C&J Sporting Goods at 6604 Northwest 38th Street has been serving Bethany and the Metro for over 30 years, with 3 generations ready to serve you with the best shopping experience of product knowledge and customer service anywhere, with a wide selection of guns, ammo, ear and eye protection, law enforcement equipment, hunting, camping, and survival gear. If they don't have it, they will order it for you. Veteran owned and family operated. Call 405-789-8102. C&J Sporting Goods.
Learn about nursing and long-term care at CNA Training Academy, 7463 Northwest 23rd Street. Mary Chukwuma offers affordable, useful, and flexible classes every day that will teach you the foundations of medical care. Mary Chukwuma has been teaching her class for 18 years and is eager to teach you. Understand vital signs, train for and be hired as a PCA, and learn about caring for patients in nursing homes, hospitals, assisted living situations, and more at CNA Training Academy. Call 405-315-1357 and ask about financial qualifications. CNA Training Academy is open to all ages and has classes on the weekend and in the evenings as well. Call CNA now, 405-315-1357, and join classes of people learning about nursing and inspiring each other daily. Step up to the next level at Coyote Pond, home with a $20 FFL transfer. Coyote Pond at 5804 Northwest 63rd and MacArthur makes the difference in customer service with a selection of just about everything, with top dollar loans and rock bottom prices. Locally owned and operated, Coyote Pond is the destination headquarters for Bethany, Yukon, and Oklahoma City, and the home of the $20 FFL transfers. Call 405-470-7999 or go to coyotepond.com. That's 405-470-7999 and coyotepond.com. And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back here on the gospelstation.com Sports and Talk. Getting ready for segment number 2 as we come back out of break. We are live at SureStay by Best Western in Duncan, sitting down here in the kitchen area, getting ready for this, the rest of this show, I should say. Our next break will come in about 15 minutes. You can expect that about 12:50 p.m. But before that, I've got an impromptu guest on the line here on my phone. It's a guest I've had on the show before, so please welcome back to the show my little brother, Adam. We're going to talk some NASCAR here because I sent him the Michael Jordan news article that I was talking about both yesterday and on the morning show, and I want to hear your thoughts about it on air, Adam. But first off, you just woke up. How are you?
This is for you to call me and ask me to do this as soon as I woke up. But yeah, being on the show last time was a lot of fun. I'm ready to do it again.
Yeah, I know there's no better start to your day than to get a call from your older brother and start talking about some sports.
Sports.
Yeah, live on air, and you don't have any time to prepare. You got to be careful what you say. All right. All right, but okay, so I'm calling obviously because I wanted to ask for your opinion on this NASCAR news. So, what stuck out to me the most of it, and what we were talking about last night, was the fact that all these NASCAR teams have been operating at a loss. I mean, that was just incredible to me. I had no idea. I would have assumed every pro team that wasn't, about to collapse was operating at a surplus. But did you have any idea about this? Because you're a much bigger NASCAR fan than I am.
Yeah, this has been going on for a little bit now. It involves two teams, 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports, which is 2311 is a relatively new team. They're owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, who is pretty funny because Denny drives for Joe Gibbs Racing, but he owns an entirely different team. But yeah, I've known about this for a while, and pretty much the whole overview of this entire that's happening right now is these two teams sued NASCAR because they're claiming NASCAR kind of had a monopoly system over the sport, and they tried to take away their charters for those two teams, which basically means they're not really a permanent team like the rest of the teams, and they have to go through more like practice and qualifying stuff like that, and they're not automatically locked into races like the other teams are.
Okay, that makes sense to me because I had been wondering what that charter meant, so I'm glad you explained that. But yeah, I knew Michael Jordan was owner of one of them. So you say they're relatively new. About how new are we talking?
2311, I'm not entirely sure, but I think they're probably 6 or so years old. I really don't remember.
And it sounds like it's a pretty lengthy process to get approved and to get all the stuff you need to be doing these races. So, yeah, I can see how that would result in a pretty quick lawsuit right there. That doesn't surprise me that much. But Adam, I was reading that article we were talking about, and one of the other things that kind of stood out to me was it said that NASCAR had been moving a lot of money around and kind of changing the perception of its funding situation, if that makes sense. When you said that they had somewhat of a monopoly, the pieces started to fall into place. But NASCAR as an organization, right, as a professional sport, when you say they've got a monopoly, can you better explain what that means in terms of maybe that financial side relating to the teams?
I think it would be better explained that obviously NASCAR is a very, very expensive sport. They travel all the way across the massive country, do all these racetracks, have to build all these cars, and on top of that, they have to build backup cars for every team too. And so, my understanding is that NASCAR as a whole has been too controlling on their financial situations, and the court case is saying they are kind of withholding some of the money that the teams needed, the teams that sued them needed, and they couldn't really fund their teams as much as they wanted to, which obviously makes their performance go down because they can't get as much parts and they can't build as good cars as the teams that have charters. And so I think the biggest part of that is these new Chicago street races that started happening probably 3 years ago. Because I heard I read Jordan has invested probably $40 million into his own team. But just at these street races in Chicago, NASCAR as a whole has lost over $60 million.
Wow.
I said $40 million, correct, for Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he invested $40 million. NASCAR at these races has lost probably $60 million just because the races are new and they're so high profile. And so losing all that money caused NASCAR to kind of panic, I think, a little bit and kind of keep money for themselves and not distribute it evenly between the teams, if you kind of understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that kind of made these two teams' performance go down. Obviously, I would say 2311 is better than Front Row Motorsports. Because front row's kind of always been maybe a mid-pack team, and I think they're just tired of it. They're tired of being a mid-pack team, not having chargers like the other team. And 2011, they used to be. I just read it again. They started in 2020. They came in as a pretty good team, and then obviously these last couple of years they just went straight down because of all this money withholding stuff. And yeah, it's been tough for them. So that's why they're upset.
Wow.
So I don't know if that explanation was too much or.
No, that sounded perfect to me. The only question I have left is, with these races being so new and high profile, is it just not generating enough ticket sales? Like, what would cause that kind of major loss?
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. Like, ever since probably the death of Dale Earnhardt in 2001, just viewership and ticket sales for NASCAR has gone way, way down, and that's obviously so much money that they've lost. So even the crown jewel races, that's Charlotte, Darlington, Indianapolis, and the Daytona 500. Those used to be some of the biggest viewed races in the world, and now it's not good.
Well, I knew it had definitely declined. I spent a lot of time. I spent a little time talking to. They have fallen off a cliff, you mean? Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I was saying I spent a little bit of time on the morning show this morning, and I was actually talking about Jeff Gordon because you and Dad have been big NASCAR fans, much more than me, and also our grandfather. But everything I watched was because Jeff Gordon was in it. Like, I would read those Jeff Gordon biographies that were in the library when we were in elementary school, right? That was my link to NASCAR. And ever since he retired, I haven't kept up with it at all. That was the one guy I cared about in the races. So it really does happen like that, right? Just a few big names leave, right? Maybe a few wrong mistakes, and then boom, the competition, the viewership falls off the cliff, right?
Let's say Jeff Gordon was my very first athlete, if you can call them athletes. They are athletes. Athlete I actually started caring about a lot when I first got into NASCAR in 2014. But ever since he retired in 2015 and then came back for some rides driving Dale Earnhardt's car after he got injured, after he left in 2016 after doing that, just viewership went way down for me. And I tried to keep up with it for a little bit, but I just didn't really start keeping up with it again until probably a year ago when these new cars got introduced in 2022, which is a couple years ago now. Sorry, but I was interested in these. I got back in it because I was interested for these new cars because they look so different than anything they've ever driven before. But the gist of it is viewership has just gone way, way down because the racing product isn't as close or as exciting as like it was in 2007, 2005 with those
Right.
4 cars.
Right. Okay, I got it. So hopefully that also helped the people watching and listening kind of understand this lawsuit a little better. Again, Adam can explain it way better than I can, folks. That's why I had to ring him up for this one. But I'm trying to think of one more question because I had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh, right. Okay, I remember now. But you've also been keeping up with F1 races a little bit, and you kind of run into the same issue there where maybe wrecks, yellow flags are up, stoppages are kind of up, which was somewhat similar to the baseball discussion where it's kind of taking too long. There's too much time in between the action. Do you see that? Do you see them trying to fix that anytime soon? Do they have any plans?
We do have plans. The F1 cars that they use this year are way bigger than the cars they've ever used before. And starting in 2026, they're going to make the cars a little bit smaller and make them a little bit lower to the ground, which they say should make racing closer and better. But I would also say Formula One is the exact opposite of NASCAR when you talk about yellow flags and stuff like that. There's every Grand Prix weekend in Formula One, there's hardly any yellow flags or incidents at all. Like the biggest incidents or maybe tapping tires with somebody else. But
Right.
the problem with Formula One is, again, as I just stated, the racing is just not close at all. It's like the end of the first 5 laps, everybody's so spread out. It's just a train for the rest of the race. Like there's not much passing. I Only the real passing zones are kind of on straightaways where they use DRS, which basically is just flipping their back wing a little bit, making the car a little bit more aerodynamic so they can pass. But other than that, there's hardly any passing at all. I would think it's worse than NASCAR and just spread out racing.
Yeah, the yellow flags is for NASCAR. It's a little bit different of a race than F1 just by making the cars and tracks, so that does make sense. But man, I'll keep my eye out for any new articles. I'll send them your way if I find anything. We'll be keeping up with this MJ stuff. All right, brother. Well, I'm running out of time here on this segment. I'm gonna let you go so you can get back to sleep or whatever you're gonna do.
Thank you for waking me up with this. This was fun.
Hey, anytime. Go play some NASCAR Thunder for me. Make sure Mom hears Magic Carpet Ride since she loves that song so much.
Song in a minute now that you mentioned it. So.
I've still got it on my Spotify Live playlist. What you mean?
Yeah. That is the song I've so.
All right, man. Well, thank you for doing this. All right, talk to you later. All right, and that was my brother, Adam. Again, I've had him on the show before, but he can explain that stuff far better than I can. He's actually managed to get my sister into it. That's how well he has explained it and, I guess, promoted it to her while I've been gone. But, no, it's been great. It's awesome having him on the show. We're running out of time here on segment number 2. Halfway done with our show. Here is the game plan, day number 2 at SureStay by Best Western here in Duncan, Oklahoma, the premier spot for any overnight stays if you're traveling to this part of the state. Thank you to Best Western for letting us come through and do this show and stay here for this basketball tournament. 580-252-0810 is the number you need to call. You can also use the Best Western To Go app. That will also help you find your locations, and it also helps, set up your reservations. If you need help or assistance with anything, you can do that from the app as well. There's a swimming pool out back, plenty of parking all around the building here. And again, I just mentioned it's in a great spot. So thanks to SureStay by Best Western. We're going back to break. When we come back, we're going to move it into maybe some college or pro sports. We'll see what we go to next. Stay tuned. This is the game plan with Luke Young.
John Campbell is your local health market agent that specializes in Medicare. Instead of talking through an 800 number, talk face-to-face with your local agent, John Campbell, to answer all your questions and find the company that best fits your needs. John Campbell Health Market serves Yukon, Bethany, and the surrounding area and will travel across the state of Oklahoma to meet with you. Call John Campbell Health Markets at 405-200-8414. Call 405-200-8414.
Do it best at Evans Hardware. Since 1965, Evans Hardware has provided Midwest City with top-quality home improvement supplies and a one-of-a-kind shopping experience. At 1021 South Douglas Boulevard, Evans Hardware is family-owned and has the right products for every situation, including DIY projects, professional contracting, or quick fixes. Their satisfaction guarantee and quick turnarounds mean you'll always find what you need. So visit Evans Hardware in Midwest City. Or call 405-732-1898. That's 405-732-1898. Evans Hardware in Midwest City.
We are Integrity Heating, Air, and Plumbing, in business for over 40 years. We've provided top-notch service for every company and residential home in the area. Let's take a look inside and let you meet some people.
Hey, Blaine. Good morning. Here we have a part of our call center. This is Tina. That's Gabby. That's our general manager, BJ. Our office hours are from 7:30 to 7:30, Monday through Friday, and we do heating and air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical. Give us a call. We always have specials. Our number one priority is your family, constant comfort, and convenience. We offer 24-hour service.
And in order for us to do that, we fully stock everything here at our warehouse. Whether it's commercial or residential, we offer plumbing, heating and air, and electrical full services. All of our guys are licensed, we're bonded and insured.
Here at Integrity, we offer senior discounts, military discounts, and public service discounts.
You worked hard for us, so let us work hard for you.
Yeah, go Broncos.
Who's got the sauce? Zaxby's does. Come by Zaxby's Chicken Fingers and Buffalo Wings at 5859 Northwest Expressway and find out why Zaxby's is Oklahoma's go-to for great chicken meals. Zaxby's has the chicken fingers, the sandwiches, the wings, and the sauce that will leave your mouth watering. Now with the all-new lemon pepper line of meals. Late Night Zax introduces the Zappetizer Trio and keeps the drive-thru open after 8 p.m. So use the Zaxby's app to earn rewards and remember that Zaxby's will cater your event. Head to 5859 Northwest Expressway or call 405-603-8190 to make your Zaxby's order now. 405-603-8190. Zaxby's.
And that brings us back out of break, ladies and gentlemen, here on the second half of the game plan. 30 more minutes here. We're going until 1:20 p.m. We're at the SureStay by Best Western. Thanks so much to SureStay and the people here for letting us come by and do the show. Super friendly, by the way, super helpful people that have been able to help me out a lot already, just with getting my room set up, getting this set up, feeding me information for these shows, which I've got some new ones for you. I found out today that SureStay by Best Western has been serving the area since 1981 with some employees who have been working here for over 20 years. They are a staple in the community, and you can tell how much the people love it because it's still not only still in business today, the people that have come here to work are still sticking around. It's great to both the employees and the customers that come through and stay a couple of nights here, and I'm loving my time here. The rooms are super nice, perfect for what I need, comfortable beds, perfect heating system, right? And there's plenty of desk space, closet space, storage. I've got Gatorades in the fridge for whenever I need the drinks, and the bathrooms are also super nice as well. And I mentioned it yesterday, but it does the little things right. The kitchen is perfect. They had a wide variety of food. It doesn't look like a lot of space, but I mean, they had pretty much everything you could want out there. I got yogurt out of the fridge because I haven't had yogurt in a while, and it was really good. And the water pressure is great. The water heats up quick and cools down quick. So it's the little things like that that you wouldn't really think of when you're looking for a hotel that they do right here at SureStay by Best Western. Again, call this number, 580-252-0810, to get in contact with the hotel if you're traveling down to the Duncan area. But on this segment, I actually do know what we're going to go to next. It's a little bit different than usual. But earlier today, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer, did a media press conference. He was live for roughly 20 minutes. We're not going to listen to the whole thing, but we are going to catch some clips out of it. I'm going to turn you over to that one right now. And it should be on this tab. There it is. All right, take it away, Shotty.
I'm good. I know who you are. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Down to business, right? That's what you like. Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News.
We know that. We just sorry.
Yeah,
Damn.
Well, just trying to be official.
Okay, good.
Health update, Guyton. Has he had any setbacks or anything like that? What's his progress?
No, they're just tricky. I mean, these things can be tricky, and he was on the grass yesterday, which is a good thing. But these things sometimes take a little time, especially when you're 320-plus pound man. Sometimes they take a little longer.
How's Mr. Diggs doing?
Doing well. Having a good week. Again, like we said, see how today goes. And, again, excited to see how he finishes the week.
Ferguson with the calf, that occurred in the game, or did something happen in practice?
Practice, yeah, just a little tweak in practice, yeah. Same thing. Do a little bit more today, kind of a build-up process, and see how he does.
Clowney's good?
Same thing, probably game time decision, progressing well. He's very impatient over there. I mean, I'm distracted now because he wants to get to his question. Okay, but are you good? You feel okay? Great. All right, great. I just want to make sure. Yeah, I just want to make sure you're good. Now I don't know you, so you have to make sure you tell me who you are.
I got criticized for saying yes, sir, so now I can call him Shot.
That's right.
Who criticized for saying this? We'll tell you that after this. Here we go.
Clarence, DLLS Cowboys. You talked about Diggs need to be more consistent. Has he done that? And what does that look like this week in practice?
Yeah, well, number one, I don't just talk about that with Trayvon. I talk about the word consistency a lot. I think it's my favorite word I use with you guys. Why? Because to sustain success and to win in this league over time, you need to be consistent. And so it just means doing things right all the time, and that's everybody. That's not just about Trayvon. I think again the other thing to realize is the ramp up portion of this is real. Like, you don't play football for 4 weeks. You don't forget how to play, but you also haven't moved and have to change direction. And the thing that's so crazy about our sport, you guys know this, it's not just you. It's the working alongside 10 other guys, and there's calls and communication, things that have to be better. And once we feel like that's where we're at, then certainly we know what type of player Trayvon can be.
Secondly, you CD, he's cleared protocol. Can you just talk about where he is and full goal and everything?
Yeah, it looks great. Yesterday I thought was a really good day for him, and again, love the intensity in his eyes. And again, that was a scary deal, as we all know, but I'm happy that he's safe and doing so well.
When CD was going through his stuff, you told us, when he came to practice, you could see it in his eyes, and he was ready to bounce back, and he approached practice that way. I don't know if George needed that, but what have you seen from George? Is it you see the same thing, that he's going to put that stuff to rest?
Oh, yeah, no question. Again, both those guys have been great this week, and I think, again, like the thing with us is we came out of the game, and again, I didn't call my best game. I didn't coach my best game, and that's why you come out of the game and you're like, man, what could I have done better? But at the end of the day, George has been dialed in, and again, the trajectory would tell you that he's going to have a very good performance this week.
Brian Tyler with ESPN. Jerry was on the radio, and he said he thinks we'll see more of Logan Wilson this week. What has Logan done in practice to have Jerry believe that, and what do you think of it?
Yeah, well, again, I think, when we went out and got Logan, I mean, we were trying to just do what? Add depth, add talent, add, playmaking ability to the linebacker position. First thing I would say is it's great to have Demo back. Demo's going to be, really without any limitations, which is great for us. I think that's awesome. But the first thing that jumps off the film with Logan is his ability to dissect things, the ability to now communicate at a much cleaner level. Like you come in, you have to learn Spanish or French or whatever it is, and now he's able to communicate at a higher level. Both guys are going to play. K9 and he are very different, and so both guys have things that we like. And I think at the end of the day, whether it's 30 snaps and 30 snaps, again, that doesn't matter to me. It's more about finding the guy that's got the hot hand, the guy that maybe is playing more consistent. There's that word again for you, Clarence. But at the end of the day, you'll see them both out there.
Okay, you should be able to hear me now. So there you heard it, a little bit of the press conference head coach Brian Schottenheimer had earlier today. I was watching it live and wanted to bring that back up for you. So just an update on some key players for Dallas coming up on this next week. Dallas is just coming off of a bad loss against Detroit. Maybe a game they should have won. Maybe some questions were raised after that one. Unfortunately, as unfortunate as it is. But looking at the Dallas Cowboys schedule ahead, our next game is against the Patriots. And the Patriots are really, really good. And this is a win we desperately need if we want any hope of being in the playoffs. But again, we also need a lot of help because the Eagles have to keep sliding, right? But again, those players he mentioned, Tyler Guyton progressing on schedule, Trayvon Diggs doing very well in his return. Diggs especially, man, it's tough with Trayvon because when you watch him as just a fan, just from the outside, man, you can tell it's like Schottenheimer says, right, that a lot of these guys want to be out there and they really have that fire, that drive to win. It's tough to hear that Diggs had kind of fallen into that realm where the words being said about him were inconsistent, hasn't bought in, isn't doing what's right by the team. So it's very reaffirming to hear Coach Schottenheimer say that he is starting to become that more consistent player. That's the word he uses, consistent. CeeDee Lamb clearing concussion protocol is great news because, again, we're going to need him. But if you haven't seen that clip and you want to go watch, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or social media somewhere. It was a pretty scary hit he took to the head, so I'm glad he's healthy. And I hadn't heard before was about Ferguson getting a slight tweak in practice is how he said it. Maybe feeling some discomfort in their last practice. So it seems that he's going to be healthy and fine for this game. And again, Jake Ferguson has turned into a pretty major weapon himself. Dak has had a lot of different guys to throw to already this season, and Ferguson is pretty consistent. So happy to hear he's healthy. You heard, and of course, a couple more. Wilson was thrown in there, a few other names. But those were the ones I wanted to focus on, especially covering Diggs, Lamb, and Pickens. George Pickens, man, the moment I heard we were getting him, I was ecstatic. I thought he is the perfect guy to bring to Dallas in this situation, to pair with CeeDee Lamb, to pair with this receiving core. And I was high on him from the very start, and he performed well past expectations. Now, it's easy for recency bias to get in the way of a true evaluation of it. Because should he have made an effort for that ball in Detroit? Probably. But do I know the full story? No. So I'm with Schottenheimer on that one. I still think he is absolutely the guy, and there's no reason to lose any faith in him at all. Steelers fans will see that and kind of feel a little bit of vindication for letting him go, but I think that's just copium. I think they're just coping with the fact that they don't have Pickens anymore. I think he is pretty much the guy in Dallas right now. I'm super happy he's with us and super happy that he is doing well even after that game, because I know being a pro athlete, man, there's a lot of things that get said, and it comes with the territory. So I'm happy that it's a good report for him. But all right, we got to go back to break here on this episode of The Game Plan. We are now, three quarters through, coming up on our final 15, so stay with us here. We're at the SureStay by Best Western out here in Duncan, Oklahoma, operating in the area since 1981. Some of the people working here have been here for over 20 years. It's crazy, and they're always doing great work, super friendly, super helpful. You'll love your stay here. SureStay by Best Western, again, right on kind of the north side of the city, 2535 North Highway 81 in Duncan. Paid private parking on site. They accept all forms of payment. Of course, wheelchair accessible, handicap accessible, all that good stuff. We're going to go to break. When we come back, that final 15, and a little bit more about SureStay and some of the businesses that we have had the pleasure of working with. We'll be back after this.
Polished is total grooming at 836 Garth Brooks in Yukon with 28 years combined experience, including airbrush design, nail caps on dogs and cats, as well as the Bribe Bar and pet photography. It's a dog and cat day out at Polish, and ask about the month's membership that includes a free weekly bathing and 50% off pet grooming. Go to polishgrooming.com or call 405-494-8409. Keep your fur baby happy with expert affordable pet grooming at Polish in Yukon.
Come visit us at Raspado's Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. We're open year-round, 7 days a week, so come try our delicious crepes, smoothies, and churros. Raspado's Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 405-225-1000. We also serve burgers, tacos, and more. 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. Also on Facebook, Raspado's OKC. That's Raspado's OKC, 405-225-1000. Looking for fast cash without the hassle? At Red River Credit in Oklahoma City, they've got you covered. They offer auto-secured loans up to $3,660, and the best part, no credit check. Need something different? They also provide traditional installment signature loans with a credit check. Whether you need quick cash or a long-term solution, they're here to help. Enjoy cash-friendly service with easy access online at redrivercredit.com. You can apply in person at 4571 Northwest 23rd Street, Suite A in Oklahoma City. Call 405-440-0582. Now open at 5801 West Britton Road. It's Himador Mexican Grill. Order at Himador Mexican Grill and be treated to a spacious dining area, friendly staff, and delicious Mexican dishes. Fajitas, quesadillas, seafood, vegetarian meals, they've got it all at Himador Mexican Grill, 5801 West Britton Road. With different lunch and dinner specials every day and great prices, Himador Mexican Grill is the place to be. They open at 11 a.m. every day and come by starting August 30th to get some drinks at the brand new bar. The people love Himador Mexican Grill, and you will too. Call 405-367-7274 or email himadorgrill5801@gmail.com to reserve your table. Himador Mexican Grill is eager to serve you. 5801 West Britton Road, and call 405-367-7274.
Lilygrass Flowers and Decor is rooted in rich history dating back to 1979 in the precious memory of Flowers by Roy. Alicia Rankins and staff have carried the commitment to only offer the finest, unique floral arrangements with same-day delivery locally and nationally. What you envision, we make reality at Lilygrass Flowers and Decor, 7101 Northwest Expressway. Call Lilygrass Flowers and Decor at 721-1813 and begin a new memory.
Game Plan with Luke Young, live from Duncan, Oklahoma, on day number 2 of the Southern Oklahoma Invitational. 1 second here, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, but we're live again. Final 15 minutes coming up on the end of this. Thanks so much to SureStay Duncan High, Simplified Tech Solutions, everybody that has helped us put on not just the ability to broadcast the tournament, but to stay here overnight and be able to really just make a trip out of it, make this whole event out of it. It's been a great time. One more time, or well, I guess second to last time here. SureStay by Best Western Duncan, 2535 North Highway 81. You can call 580-252-0810 to get in contact with the hotel. You can also go to bestwestern.com or use the app Best Western to go. Very highly rated on websites like Booking.com. It's a 4.4 rating on Booking.com with over 100 reviews. That's how you know this is a place you're going to want to stay. And Simplified Tech Solutions at 4221 North MacArthur Boulevard back in War Acres. Eric, I've talked to him so many times I've lost track, and he's helped us out so many times I lost track before I even started working here. That's how many times he's helped us out. Can't thank Eric enough at Simplify. Again, 4221 North MacArthur Boulevard. Go by and give him a visit. Phillip Rivers is back in the league, taking the helm of the Indianapolis Colts after starting quarterback Daniel Jones went down with a season-ending injury. Once he found out about this and was asked about it, Aaron Rodgers had one thing to say. I'm not the oldest guy in the league. Love that. Aaron Rodgers is pretty old. Phillip Rivers is, 44? And now he's back in the league. So Aaron Rodgers said, he's been a big fan of Phillip forever. He loves that he's returning to play in the league a little bit. Just had to poke a little bit of fun at how old Rivers is because he is up there now. I was comparing it on our show yesterday. I think he is, only a year, maybe 2 years younger than Brady was when he retired after his final season in the NFL. So Phillip's up there. He's up there. He's pretty old. But the Colts have been, man, they were so good at the start of the season. They really were. I was really, really honestly happy for them. They were really happy for them. But they had been on a little bit of a skid. Daniel Jones going down, that's the big injury. I mean, there's no avoiding that now. Currently, looking at the standings, the Colts are third in the AFC South, tied with the Texans right now with an 8-5 record. They've been on a 3-game losing streak, while the Texans have been on a 5-game win streak, and the Jags have been on a 4-game win streak. So they have lost their lead in the AFC South. Now, of course, the Titans are still eliminated, as are the Browns and Raiders at the bottom of all the AFC divisions, and the Jets as well. I forgot to mention the Jets, but the Colts are not out of contention. And the funny thing I mentioned is what if Phillip Rivers comes back into the league, revitalizes this organization, gets them out of the slump, leads them to the playoffs, and they go a couple rounds deep. What then? Does he stay around for another? Does he stay around? Does another team pick him up? Who knows? Just food for thought, maybe. Food for thought. I doubt that will happen. Nothing against Phillip Rivers, honestly, because I would love to see it happen, but just a lot of things have to go right for that to happen, obviously. And I'm not sure about the odds of them going right there. But anything can happen. We'll see. We'll definitely see. I've gone over the MLB draft order. I've gone over this week in NFL football. I talked a little bit about yesterday the Oklahoma City Thunder, comparing them to some teams like the Knicks, the Spurs, and all those top contenders. This week let's pull it up for the football schedule. I'm going to go ahead and click on this link. Let's pull up the games. I'll give you some good ones to watch. All right. Yesterday it was Atlanta at Tampa Bay. It ended up being Atlanta win 1.29-28. Kirk Cousins threw for nearly 400 yards. Kyle Pitts Sr. had 166 receiving yards. That was the high for that game. Man, see, I was really high on Tampa Bay, too. That's the thing, man. I love Baker Mayfield. I was really excited for Tampa Bay this year. I thought they could make their run, but they're 7-7 now, sitting at 500. Hasn't been great. Now, here's the difference. Kirk Cousins, 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Bijan Robinson had 1 touchdown on the ground, and all 3 touchdowns were to Kyle Pitts Sr. When Dallas came out and had Dak's 370-yard game, right? That came with a couple interceptions. I'm telling you, I mean, they look bad on paper, and I know, the argument is always, the argument was Dak hit the guys in the hands, right? And they didn't catch it. But that just goes to show how important turnovers are this league, you can't turn the ball over and win. You just can't. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Baker Mayfield, 277 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Sean Tucker had a touchdown on the ground, while Chris Godwin Jr. and Devin Culp had touchdowns through the air. They almost fumbled as well, but they did recover that one. I think they recovered one fumble themselves and recovered one off of Atlanta. But again, Cousins had no interceptions to go along with that, if I make that. Yeah, Robinson fumbled. That's right. Bijan Robinson fumbled. I remember now. But again, 1-point win. The Falcons pulled it off. They moved to 5-9 on the season. This Sunday, our next matchup's coming up. Let's see, what do we got here? Baltimore at Cincinnati. I honestly expect that to be a Cincinnati win. The Chargers take on the Chiefs. I would expect the Chargers to win that one. Buffalo at New England. That's going to be a pretty good matchup. 12 o'clock p.m. CBS. Buffalo, New England in December. Going to be a snow game most likely. Oh, we're there for that one. That'll be a fun one to tune into. Green Bay plays Denver. That could be a good one. Detroit plays the Los Angeles Rams. That could also be a good one. Obviously, Phillip Rivers back with the Colts against Seattle at 3:25 on Sunday. Sunday night slot is the Vikings at the Cowboys. I'll be watching that one, obviously. And the Monday night game is Miami at Pittsburgh, which is not really exactly a nail-biter there. But so if I'm looking at this, the games to tune into, Buffalo, New England. Out of the 3:25 time slot, watch Phillip Rivers back in the league or watch that probably Green Bay at Denver game because the NFC still has a wild playoff picture right now. Then obviously you watch the Cowboys at 7:20. And then that should be it for your Sunday night viewing. Of course, if you want to watch the Miami at Pittsburgh game, you can. No one's stopping you. Go ahead. That's what I say. Go ahead. I'm on a bye week in fantasy this week. I got the number 1, so I'm on bye. So whatever happens, it doesn't. As long as no one gets injured, knock on wood, it doesn't matter to me. All right, folks. Well, I think we've come up officially to the end of our show now. I've got just about nothing left I want to talk about. I could go into MLB free agency more, but to be honest with you, all I'm going to talk about are the Red Sox, and the Red Sox are infuriating. It's bad. It's bad. So I saved. Okay, I'll talk about it a little bit at the end. I saved the quote. Where did it go? So basically, the Red Sox are not interested in making any long-term deals, which means they are not going to get a big name off the market, no matter who it is, for likely any more than 3 years max. Which, why? I have no idea. Why, when the Orioles are picking up Pete Alonso, I have no idea. Why, when Tampa Bay and the Jays and everybody, the Jays were just in a World Series, they're re-signing guys, they're still trying to get back to there. Why are we just sitting there twiddling our thumbs? I mean, look, I like our rookies. I want to place a lot of faith in them. But we could always use a little bit of help. It would be nice to have a first baseman like Alonso come back on the team, or have gotten Schwarber back or something. But if these numbers are correct, and it's quoted from Red Sox payroll and Forbes, the 2018 Red Sox payroll, the World Series year, $239.4 million. The 2025 Red Sox payroll, a team that just barely got into the playoffs when everybody was counting them out, $248.6 million. The value of the Red Sox in 2018, $2.8 billion. The value of the Red Sox in 2025, $4.8 billion. A $2 billion raise in valuation between those years. And let's just say the payroll hasn't increased at that same rate. Boston, for whatever reason, our ownership has decided that we are playing the Moneyball game. Why? I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no idea. But it's where we're at. So if you're a Boston fan like me, don't expect any big names going to the Red Sox anytime soon. Maybe we'll re-sign Bregman. I hope we do, because I did like watching Bregman. But, man, that's all I got for you there. I don't even want to. Ugh. Breaking news. Coach Sharon Moore was detained by police yesterday in Michigan. The new news coming out here, if this is correct, Former Michigan coach Sharon Moore has been charged with home invasion in the third degree, stalking and breaking and entering. So when I mentioned yesterday that Moore was kind of spiraling, yeah, it's gone to the extreme now, which is unfortunate to hear, but consequences of your actions, he'll face justice. And that is true. So the full, this time from Yahoo Sports, I'm reading this one. Third degree home invasion, stalking, breaking, entering, or entering without breaking. Moore was detained by police in Saline, Michigan, hours after he was fired for cause. After the school said it had found the evidence of the inappropriate relationship. So he is completely back in, completely fired, in prison, all that stuff now. He has been, not in prison, detained. Whew. I'm going to start over. He is fired as Michigan's head coach. He has been detained. The charges are coming out. It seems like it's going to stick. Whether he goes to jail, whatever happens next step, or whether he's, honestly, at this point, it seems like placed in a psych ward. Whatever happens next, I will try to keep up with it, but it's not looking good for him. That kind of seems like he's going a little bit completely crazy, to be honest with you folks. So I feel bad for Michigan fans. I really do. Oh, here's something. Listen on a light note. Let's hear it in a light note. Around the NFL, Tom Brady on Phillip Rivers' Colts comeback. I certainly could still play QB in NFL at age 48. And the retweet is, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Please do not come back. We do not need a 50-year-old in the league still slinging 60-yard touchdown passes for no good reason. We don't need it. We don't. Stay retired. Stay retired. Vote for Dak. Repost on the Dallas Cowboys Twitter account to make your vote for sending the NFL's new passing leader to the Pro Bowl this year. And that's getting a retweet from me. Let's go, Dak. Let's go. All right, but that takes us to the end of our show. Thank you so much to everybody who has tuned in. I know we just kind of said whatever there at the end, did whatever, but that's always how I like to end these, just going over whatever topics pop up. We've been at the SureStay by Best Western Duncan for this episode of the Game Plan. The next game for the high school basketball tournament will start very, very soon. We will have women's up first at 4 p.m. in just over 2 hours here. So tune in for that one on GSN Sports and Talk. I'll be broadcasting that one over at Duncan High, and we will see you there. SureStay by Best Western here in Duncan, 2535 North Highway 81. Call 580-252-0810 to get a hold of the hotel. Thanks to Simplify Tech Solutions at 4221 North MacArthur Boulevard back in War Acres. And thanks to all of you guys who are watching this episode. We will be back later tonight. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube, and I'll see you there.